Well, it's going to be another great SEC weekend, and obviously we have a huge challenge in front of us with the best football team we've played up to date. I don't think there's any question about that. They're just a very sound, solid football team with a lot of talent and very well coached, as you would imagine. So it's going to be a great challenge for us. This is going to be another. It's going to be two physical games, or three very physical games in a row for our football team. So our kids are excited about it, and we're excited about it. The name of the game for us is going to be playing a very physical football game. I don't feel like this past week we were as physical as we needed to be. We won the football game, and we're very proud of the way our team responded in a situation that at some points didn't look very good. But we're going to have to play a much more physical brand of football Saturday to beat this team. So, but we'll be up to the challenge, and we'll be ready for it, and it ought to be a lot of fun.
Could you just elaborate on playing physical football and really kind of what that entails? I mean,
well,
it's like a very brutal game Saturday night.
I'm going to tell you, it was, there was some physical hits, and but when we talk about being physical, we're talking about at the point of attack on the line of scrimmage, and playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, no matter who you are. For our offensive line, that's playing on the defensive side of the line of scrimmage, and same way with our defensive line, trying to play in the offensive backfield as well. So, that's where we've got to improve as a team. We can run the ball on the perimeter. We can do some of that. We need to improve in a lot of ways, on the line of scrimmage, and that starts with our offense and defensive lines. And I'm not saying there weren't physical play and physical hits in the game, because there was. I think both teams play with a lot of pride and a lot of passion, but we've got to win the line of scrimmage more than we're doing right now.
Gene, you've got a lot of veterans back on the offensive line with a lot of experience. Are you surprised that they're not winning the line of scrimmage quite as much as you would like?
Well, I don't want to say that I'm disappointed that we're not. I feel like we need to be playing more physical, and I don't think there's any secret. We've had that discussion over the last 2 days, and I think that they know it, we know it, and we got to fix it. And again, if we're going to win the football game Saturday, that's going to be part of the equation, that we got that fixed. But right now, we're not playing as physical as we need to. We're the guys that have a lot of starts under the belt.
Is there anything you can look at and say, this is why that's happening?
Well, we're going back to work. We went back to work Sunday, Philip. We're going to do the same today and Wednesday and Thursday. And we're just going to keep impressing upon the importance of it and work it in practice. And again, just try to continue to, do it in practice. You're not going to do it in the game if you're not doing it in practice, so we're going to continue with that again today.
Is South Carolina the type of offense that's going to challenge your secondary with their tall receivers?
Without question. Without question. It is a very talented offense. They've got great height from all their receivers. They've got two extremely effective quarterbacks. They're not afraid to run their quarterbacks. Obviously, Coach Spurrier does a great job coaching the quarterbacks in terms of throwing the ball. Their running game with their tailbacks is pretty much hitting on all cylinders right now as well. So, but going back to the receiver question, they are very talented, very athletic, and obviously have some great size to them.
Gene, obviously you guys like Marcus Lattimore during the recruiting process, recruited him hard, but are you surprised that he's had the impact he's had already as a true freshman?
Well, just watching him on film, he just looks really good. I mean, he doesn't run the ball like a freshman. He's physical. He's everything you saw in recruiting. He's doing a great job for him.
Gene, South Carolina right now is mourning Kenny McKinley, who's one of their best receivers in the program's history, really popular guy, died of an apparent suicide. We always talk about the physical health of players, but I got to imagine mental health is something that's much trickier because it's not as obvious as an ankle injury or something like that. How I guess, can coaches and football programs kind of help players through that type of stuff?
Well, first of all, that's just, it's a tragedy, and our heart goes out to everybody that's affected by that, which there's going to be many. That's a tough question. You try to really keep a good eye and a good, you try to monitor your guys, and that's why us personally, we're always trying to be involved with what's going on in their life, what's going on in their family world. You don't know. It's a very tricky. It's tough. It's tough to really know what's going on all the time in every guy's world. But we try to do our best to just stay up with what's going on in 125 guys' lives, and that's tough. But we try to do our best to do that. And again, man, you miss things, and it's just it's a tough situation.
Coach, how stressful is the head coaching job? You heard about Mark Antonio and, of course, Urban Meyer stepping down before, and then Randy Walker, that tragedy. What was your reaction to that, and just how stressful is the job of the head coach?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's extremely stressful. There's no question about it. And, it's just, and again, that's kind of another unfortunate situation. And, our heart goes out to Mark, and, but just for the head coaches, certainly in Division I football, there's all kinds of outside stresses on you, but I'm not sure that there's not more stress that we all put on ourselves than some of the outside world. But because everybody's competitive, everybody wants to win, and hey, whether we like it or not, we control how a lot of people feel on Sunday morning, and that's a huge responsibility. So it's tough territory at times.
But you talked about the right tackle spot now that AJ's out for a while.
Well, what we're planning on doing is John Sullen is kind of who we threw into the mix, obviously. So John's going to be at right tackle. Brandon Mosley is going to be at right tackle. And we're going to just kind of rotate and find out what, at the end of the day, is the best mix. But we're going to be able to, at least our plan is on Tuesday, our plan is to be able to rotate those guys and try to get a combination that fits us best right now.
You talk about rotate them in practice or in the game?
Don't know how we'll do it in the game, but really just kind of give both guys an equal opportunity to be the guy. And so we'll start looking at that today, and we'll see how the game unfolds.
Where does that leave the backup left tackle?
Brandon's going to be a swing guy, and that's kind of what he's been doing since camp started. He's going to be able to be a left tackle and a right tackle, and he's a very important piece to this puzzle. But and he's played some tight end too. So. But he's going to be a big part of what we're trying to do this week.
Coach, with you saying about winning the line of scrimmage, when you look at the tape that you've watched on South Carolina, is it something that stands out with them?
In terms of them winning the line of scrimmage, no question about it. And this is another SEC brand of football. It's the fast, physical, hard hitting. I mean, it's and everything starts in the SEC on the line of scrimmage. I mean, it starts, when I say that, anywhere in football, it starts on the line of scrimmage. But certainly in this league, with so many great inside defensive linemen that you face every week, including defensive ends, and the big physical offensive lines that we face as a defense. It's every week, and again, it's going to, watching them on film, I mean, they play on the other side of the line of scrimmage now. There's no question about that. And, that can't happen Saturday if we're going to win.
Have you seen flashes of your offensive line being as physical as you like, or has it sort of been consistent all year that they haven't been as much?
I've seen flashes of it. I certainly haven't seen enough of it, in my opinion. And, again, we've seen bits and pieces of what we need to be, but not enough of it.
When you talk about being physical, is that more of a mentality? How much of it is a mentality that you just have to instill in those guys?
I think it's a lot of both. I think it's a lot of how you approach every day, every practice. Again, you do it in practice, and that's your mentality, and that's a way of life, then obviously that's what happens on Saturday. So I think it's mental, without question, in my opinion, but certainly physically, each guy being able to act upon that as well as think it. I mean, that's what is going to either make you physical or not. But you certainly can't be it if you're not mentally aware of we need to be more physical. We need to come off the ball harder. Our double teams need to be more physical. All those type of things right now. I mean, mentally they have to understand that that's not where we're at. It's got to get better.
Is it harder to develop that when you're not? Or maybe I should say, would it be easier to develop that if you were a more traditional hard-nosed running I formation offense?
We run the exact same plays that every I-back team runs, Philip. Exact same plays. Powers, counters, zones, inside zones, running games, exactly the same.
Gene, are you pleased with the progress Mike Dyer has made so far, and could he handle more carries a game than he's got?
I think so. To answer the first part of the question, yes, I am. I'm very proud of where he's, of how he's progressed. There's no question about it. To me, number one, he hadn't turned the ball over. He's hit the ball up in between the tackles and made some yards in between the tackles. Sometimes when it's there, sometimes when it's not there. So that's good to see. And I think he's going to get better and better as the games go on with his vision and being able to see a cut that maybe he didn't see the first couple of weeks. And I think that'll come with him getting the ball more, the more experience and the more confident he feels, moving forward in this league. So we're ready for him to do more. But just evaluating him up to this point, I'm proud of him, and he's been very humble about doing it. And whatever you need me to do, Coach, that's what I'm going to do. And he's worked hard to get to this point. So we feel better as the weeks go on.
Gene, I asked you Sunday about how you guys are pushing vertical in the passing game, and then I looked at the stats after I talked to you, and Lutzenkirchen hadn't caught a pass this year. I mean, nobody from tight end spot has.
Mm-hmm.
Is that surprising to you?
We've got to, as we talked Sunday, we've got to get more people involved in the pass game, period. And it's without naming a guy or position, there's just all around in general, we've got to get more guys involved in the pass game. And so I think that's glaring. I don't think there's any question about that. So we're going to work to, again, try to be a little bit more diverse when it comes to different routes and different guys we're getting the ball to.
Is that a function of the quarterback or the offensive coordinator? Because Cam was kind of saying, hey, that's Gus's call there. No, it's circumstances are hard to tell. You may have one play on and it looks like it's good, and then it was a quarterback scramble. You may have, there's just a lot of circumstances in there that add to why that hasn't happened. But again, we know where we're at. So again, it's our aim to try to spread the ball around a little bit more this week.
Y'all numbers first two games last year were pretty much skewed towards the run too, with the new guy, new system. Is there some rhyme to that reason? Is there a reason to that rhyme, whatever the phrase is, that you kind of ease the quarterback into the passing game and everything, a new quarterback?
We're going to do in the game plan what we think gives us the best chance to win. And, as I said before, we would love to be a 50-50 split in terms of run and pass. To win games, sometimes it doesn't pan out that way. So we would like to be able to be that. We will always work in the direction of being that, but what will always overrule that or override that is we got to do whatever we got to do to win. So if that's throwing it more than running it, we'll do that. If it's running it more than throwing it, we'll do that. So, But the ideal for us, which we were last year, was a 50-50 split. So that'll always kind of be the target that we're aiming for, but it won't always pan out that way.